Hello scrapbooking friends, and thank you for joining me for another video. Today I'm going to be working on in my traveller's notebook. I've not done many of these, but I've done one or two over the years where I've sort of documented maybe a short trip, or maybe I've done just kind of 1 month in a traveller's notebook. Usually I do 12 by 12 Project Life in the pocket page kind of albums. But this year I've decided to do a traveller's notebook for the everyday scrapbooking memories or memory keeping. I think that my idea was really to reduce the amount of albums, but having said that, I think I was being a bit optimistic because I don't think I'm going to get very much in one of these. It'd probably just be even January, but I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. So today I'm documenting the books that I've read so far this year. There's 5 books that I've got that I want to read this year, 2 of which were Christmas gifts in 2020, and I didn't read them last year, so I particularly wanted to get those read this year. I've got a new book, my favourite author, Millie Johnson, that I've not read yet, and I've got 2 other books to read as well. So far, so good, because I've read these 2 in January. So I've got my Cliff Richard book and the Captain Tom book, and I just wanted to document those 2 books because I very much enjoyed them. They were both very moving and very interesting as well. I've been a Cliff Richard fan all my life, and when I was reading that book, it just kind of reminded me about the amount of times that I've seen him over the years, like all the different concerts that he mentioned and things that I've been to. Not so much in recent times since we moved to the Isle of Wight, but even then we went to one of his live concerts that was streamed at the cinema. So yeah, I've seen him a lot over the years, and I've read many books about him as well, but this one was particularly interesting because of him writing it at the age he is now. So looking back on his life from age 80, I think he may have written it sort of he was probably finishing it or writing it at the beginning of the pandemic, so that is mentioned in the book. And he turned 80 in 2020. So yeah, it's quite fascinating to hear his story from that perspective. And also the same with Captain Tom. People in the UK will know Captain Tom. He's a war veteran who raised a lot of money for our NHS here during the pandemic, and he was kind of someone that people looked up to, and for obvious reasons. And he's very much loved, but he has passed away now. It's a shame because I was hoping to have read that book before he passed away, but he passed away last year and I hadn't read it, so I had to read it with the perspective of him already having passed on. But, so what I'm going to do is pop these 2, just put those 2 at the top there like that. And I found this scrap, which is a Chamel, I'm sure Chamel, probably a box of crayons. I've also got this piece from Shadney, which my lovely friend Moira O'Reilly sent to me. It came from this little pack here. I was going to use this one as well, bookmarks are for quitters, but I think I'll probably only fit one on. With my traveller's notebook, when I do them, same with Project Life, I try to keep them as flat as possible. It's not always possible because I do like my dimension and my texture, but I try not to, it's not like my go-to to add a lot of dimension. So this is quite a thin piece of wood veneer. So it is still dimension, and it is still going to add to the bulk of the album, but I'm hoping that if I do some pages with and some pages without, then it won't be too bulky. This one is from when I very first started scrapbooking, and I think it's from Die Cuts with a View, and the actual paper pack was called the Mod Retro Stack. I think it was called that, and it would have been at least 2009 or 10, and it may have been an older product then, but I'm not sure. But it's one of my favourite products that I've ever had. I remember absolutely loving that pad, and it's all gone. But having said that, there are a few little bits of these that I cut from the pad that I'm still using. So I thought I'd probably add this here. It's going to be simple. It's just really the 2 books, and just documenting the fact that they were very moving to read and very interesting, and I very much enjoyed them. So I think I will stick this down. I'll just use tape for this one because I think it'll be fine sticking it to paper. Put it right at the bottom there. And I also, both of these books I read very quickly, so I'm pretty sure I read them both in 2 sessions, so that's pretty good going. I've not got a very good memory, so I quite like to read books in 1 or 2 sessions, so I don't forget too many details in between reading them, picking them up. I like to use washi tape on my in my traveller's notebook. but I'm not sure if I'm going to put any on there. I'm not really, don't really like that gap there, so I might put a bit of washi tape there actually. If I do that, I'm going to have to peel that up a little bit, aren't I? I think I'll do that just to fill that little gap. See if we can make a good job of that without getting it too tangled. Yeah, I think that's better. I like that. With my traveller's notebook, I tend not to do too much design. It's a bit like the Project Life. I just like to you know, tell the story and get the stuff down on the page. That's what interests me more. And so that's that one. Obviously I'm going to do the writing as to how I felt about the books and everything. And I've got this Elf Studio stamp set here that I was thinking of using. I'm actually not sure that I will now, although I could use this one because I could give them marks out of 10, couldn't I? Yeah, I think I might do that actually. I'm not sure where my stamp block is though. I could stamp over there and do that. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Both of them will get a 10 out of 10, so I can just use the one for both of them. My archival ink is Jet Black. It's the Ranger one. It's my favourite ink. Let's just see how that turns out. Oh yeah, I like that. That's fine. Very nice. Okay, so that's that one. And then I've also got this little stamp set here, which it has no name to it or anything. It's quite a generic set that I'm pretty sure I just ordered from somewhere like Etsy and just, you know, came across it. But it's got these a stack of books there, and also the sofa that I quite like because I always sit on the sofa when I'm reading my books. So I think I might pop those down there. I need to get that the correct way around there. I think it's that way. Yeah, I'm just going to do that with my finger. I shouldn't do that because I'll probably drop it on the page, but my little stamping blocks do need a really good clean, so they fall off of that anyway. That's not too bad. It's got a little you can tell it's a stack of books. And then this one I'm just going to pop there, press it down. I wouldn't do that on a layout, but yeah, I do it in here. And I made a mistake the other day and I just cut out a piece of paper, stamped on it and then put it on top, so it's fine. So that I think is finished, other than adding the journaling. So the next page that I was thinking of doing was this one. It's a photo of long-tailed tits that arrived on our garden today. I always think that the long-tailed tits arrive in February, but they do seem to sometimes arrive in January, and they're my favourite garden birds, so I'm going to document that. And also next weekend is the RSP Big Garden Bird Watch, where they do a big study and ask everyone to study the birds in the garden for like an hour. So I'm hoping that they will be around then. So that'd be exciting. This is just a scrap it came from a UK paper pad. I'm not sure which one, but I've also used it already. So I thought I'd pop that there like that and put the photo over that hole that I punched out. That's that there. And then I've picked up this winter perspective from Bamble Fox, which came in there. I think it came in their advent. And then I just found this little scrap, which no idea what it is, but it's a nice little sort of wood grain. And I thought what I'd do is pop that there and do the journaling on top of that. And as I'm adding a perspective already, I was thinking of popping on a little flare there, dotty about flare piece, because I think that colour is just lovely, and the grid and everything. You know, the pattern kind of reflects the pattern of the feeder. So I think I'll do that. Pop that there. Get a little bit of glue for the perspective. Glossy accents as usual. This piece is lovely, this winter piece. The colour's really beautiful. Lovely blue. Not going to put too much on. I don't want it to seep through. This Traveller's Notebook was just one that I purchased online, and it's supposed to be one where you can't see through the other side when you write on it, but you can see there a little bit of stamping showing through them from the previous page. I wasn't too happy about that, I must say, but I'm trying to design my pages so that I cover that over on the following page if it happens, but I haven't quite managed it there. But I could still add a little bit more of that washi tape. I just add a little bit of foam to this flare piece. Sorry about that little birdie. It's a shame to cover that little birdie actually, because yeah, I should have thought about that, shouldn't I? I think I'm going to pop that there actually. And there's a possibility I may add some thread to that if I can find some to hand. Yeah, look, I've got some green here, handy. Quite handy. Not really the right colour though. Could use the gold that I've got. Some gold here left over from a Christmas stitch that I did. Quite like that as well. Not sure though, I'm going to leave that. And also because the long-tailed tits have got quite a lot of black in them, black would be nice, a nice contrast as well. And I've got this is like a Christmas washi, which might look nice. Just as across the bottom there, like that. I think I'll do that. Just as a nice flat added bit of interest to the page. Now what I was thinking of doing was stamping long-tail tit along here and then just doing the little bit of writing about their, well normally I say their back because you know they do return. I know they're in the UK all the time, but we tend to see them in February and they're quite skittish. You see them and if they get disturbed then they go and you might not see them for hours again, which is a bit frustrating because you know I really like to look out for them. But yeah, it's always an exciting time when they return. I'll just think about, I've got my little stamp set here, which is the one that I've used before. It's just that Studio G one. And I was thinking if long-tail tit fit along there, I think I'm just going to go for it with the blue. I shouldn't really put that on there, but it's got the lid underneath, so we'll go for it and see what happens. When I stamp directly onto the page, what I'm doing is inking up the stamp and then inking it up, stamping it off the page and then stamping it on the page, so that it's there's not as much ink on the stamp, because that tends to lessen the seep through to the other side. But because I'm stamping this onto a piece of card, it doesn't matter too much. This is not going to fit on, so I'm going to put I think I'm going to put it under here, T-A-I-L-E-D, that's 6 isn't it? So I'm going to put it directly below because I know that it's not going to fit along there. I'll put that there. See what it looks like. Like I say, I'm not too bothered about the design because I'm just telling the story. But obviously when you flick through it, you want it to look, you want to enjoy what you're looking at. So it's nice to think about it a little bit. But I'm always happy just to get another story told. And I probably will, well, I probably should have done another 12 by 12 album, but I think I'm going to put that there. It's just that they take up so much space, and I do kind of, I'm not particularly enjoyed doing it as much this year as I have done before, the 12 by 12. So that's another reason why I've trying something different. I need to finish my album from last year. I've still got to do November. I think I've got to do October and November. Probably won't do December because I did the Christmas album. So yeah, it's not something I enjoyed as much last year, but I will do it again, I'm sure, because I know for sure that this is going. When I purchased this Traveller's Notebook, I purchased 3 of them. It came as 3 in a pack, so I'm pretty sure I'll get through those quite quickly. But it'd be nice if they were to last me the whole year. I'm not sure they will, but I thought I'd just add their back at the bottom here, because I wanted to say that, because that's the whole point of the page really, just to say that they've returned. They particularly like the suet blocks. If anybody wants long-tailed tits in their garden, they're quite particular. We can't get the usual fat balls that we get at the moment for some reason. So they're not particularly keen on the new one. None of the birds are particularly keen on the alternatives, but hopefully they'll still come. They've been keen on the suet blocks today. So right, so that's long-tailed tits and their back, and I'm thinking that requires a little heart. I think I've got hearts in here. Yeah, there's a nice one. I like that one. Little heart. I'm not sure if I've got any feathers. Stamps, feathers. I know I have got a scrap paper that's got feathers on, which I probably could cut out if I wanted to, and I could put that there, couldn't I? But I don't think I'll do that, I'm not sure. Right, that's the stamping done. Okay, so I think that I might, like I said, I think I probably add a little bit of twine to that, but I don't think I've got any to hand. Let me just check in my little box here. This is just the ones I've got to hand. I've got other ones. Actually, they do have brown in them, so I could do brown. I think I'll do brown. And what I might do is pull up that flare and rather than put wet glue on, because I don't particularly like using wet glue on these pages, I might just pop this under, if I can, yeah, pop that under the flare, add a little bit of this glue, and then just pop that on there like that. And put that on the top. Now I've got room to tell my story. So I went off and finished, just did the finishing touches. I remembered that I've got this stamp set from Visible Image, Knots About Squirrels, and it's got this little stamp that says I'm Knots About You. I was a little bit naughty, and because I'd already stuck everything down, I couldn't use the block, so I tried it by hand, and I kind of made a little bit of a mess there. But what I did was restamp the About You there, and I'm thinking I may just pop a little bit of washi or something there. Not sure which one though, but I probably will do that later. I need to add the date as well on this one because this photo was taken today. So I'll get my stamp. Oh, actually, I think that's what I'll do. I'm going to stamp that onto a plain piece of card paper, card, because I don't really like using thin paper for stamping because I just don't know, because of the adhesive and everything behind it. So what I thought I'd do is stamp this bit on the card, cut that out, and maybe that might cover that little area. Ooh, could do with it being a little bit longer than that. Try again. That's okay. And what I think I'm going to do is use those these. I've been getting along a little bit better with these than I was to begin with, because I've realised that you need to load them up like this, and I was kind of doing it on the side. So I think you load them up like this, and then rather than use the side, use the brush. So I'm getting used to them, even though they're different to what I expected them to be. I do like them. Now I've got more used to them. Took me a little while to figure that out. Right, I think that might solve that problem. Not ideal, but I think I will use a little bit of wet glue on that. Tiny little dab. Don't want to soak it too much. It's going on top of cardboard, so it's not going directly onto the page, but there. Pleased with that now. So hopefully you can see that. Yeah, so I think that's finished then. I'm thinking that's a little bit empty there, but obviously because that bird's there, I don't want to, you know, I want that to remain because that's part of the story, you know, telling the story of birds. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. So yeah, first 2 books of the year read. I'm not sure which one I'm going to start on next. I've got a book about Parkhurst Prison written by a prison officer. I've also got a book about a mystery book that's set on the Isle of Wight, and my favourite Millie Johnson book, which I may have mentioned already. But I want to, I'll probably savour that book when I've got a whole day to just sit and read a book and enjoy it when I'm on my own quiet time. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. I'm not sure if you're interested in Traveller's Notebooks, but if you are, you know, I'll probably do some more. I've got a few pages that I've already done, but I can't show them at the moment because there's 1 or 2 things on there that I don't want anyone to see just yet, but I will do a flip through later on, and hopefully I'll come on here and do some live pages with you like I've done today. So if you want any couple of good books to read, there's 2 recommendations for you, particularly if you like Cliff or music or, you know, that kind of thing. And of course, Captain Tom is just a hero to everybody in the UK. And it's a fascinating read, and he did have quite a difficult life, actually. He had a lot of things to deal with, but he's a very positive person, so that's a good thing, obviously. Right, thanks again. Take care, stay safe, and I shall see you next time.